All right, Robin Slim Show, we're back. We got Ben Abix, you said?
Abix.
Abix. Ben Abix on the phone, and now you're a book author, right? You write, like, thrillers?
Yeah, I'm a book author, fiction author, nonfiction as well, and right now I just basically simultaneously had published 2 fiction novels all in the month of August. So basically
Awesome.
I kind of, instead of doing one at a time like a lot of regular authors do, I actually knocked out 2 and put out 2 at one time.
That's cool.
Well, now, the one, Tropic Trauma, I think it was called, I read on your website that you started that in, like, 96 or something, it said.
Yeah, I started that in 97, 98, at an apartment next to the Red River, kind of in Fargo, downtown Fargo, not too far from the basketball courts where all the guys play and stuff. And I was, I just kind of got inspired, and I started writing. And back then in 97, there wasn't a lot of internet. I mean, there was internet, but there wasn't a lot of laptop access and things like that. So I basically put pen to paper and wrote, the novel on 8 yellow notepads, 8 big, yellow legal notepads.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, did it really take you, like, that long to write, or did you, like,
Put it on
have
the
long
back
breaks
burner.
between?
What?
Did you put it on the back burner for a while, or did it just take you that long to write it?
No. It only. I wrote it like between like Halloween of '97 all the way to like March of '98, and there was a Florida trip in there between there. And I went to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, the Keys, all that stuff. So.
Now, do you use things from your real life in the books, or that you hear from like people when you talk to them?
Okay, what was that again? I'm sorry.
Do you, when you write, do you use anything from your real life or that you've heard from other people?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of some experiences in my life that were in some of the books, but for the most part, I let my mind kind of just run wild. I kind of envision what the story is before I start it, and then I'll put a 50% outline in. Like write down or put a notepad to the computer about an outline, just an outline basically, as long as the outline needs to be. And I'll try to do that. And then I'll let the other 50% of my mind just kind of roll, just kind of let the reel or the bail on the reel open and just let the fish just go,
Yeah. Who are your greatest influences as a writer?
Well, I read a lot of James Patterson. I read a lot of his stuff. I love the book The Outsiders of all things, which is kind of a kid's book, but I love that book.
I actually really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like cool stories. I like stories that'll, keep you engaged and keep you reading and keep you entertained.
That's cool.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started reading your book. I actually bought both your books because they're cheap. They're 99 cents. I mean, anybody who doesn't pay the 99 cents, that's just silly. So I bought them both, and I started reading Farmer. I've just been busy, so I haven't gotten too far into it, but I am enjoying it, and it is one of those things where, like, it does keep you engaged because I just like the idea of those 2 college kids just partying. They're snorting cocaine off of some naked girl in a bathroom, and it was just, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, that was a fun book to write.
I
gotta admit that was a really, really a great. It was a great time writing that book. It really was.
I got a story like that. One time I was living down here at the time, and I'm from North Jersey. That's about 2 hours north, and my friends down here wanted to go up and meet my one friend who's a DJ, and he's been in like competitions and shit. So I'm like, all right, but first we got to stop at my friend Sheik's house and get some bud. So we're smoking in his yard, and my friend Moran is talking about how he had just been to a club, did all this like ecstasy and shit, and just like fucking woke up, he had fucking fell face first into the dance floor at this club, and the next thing you know, he wakes up and he had no idea what happened. And so my friend Scott, who went up with me, he falls to the ground and starts like convulsing. So I thought he was fucking kidding. So I kicked him in the stomach. And my friend George is like, yo, give me what he's having. And then we realize his jaw is just clenching like he's having a seizure. So I'm like, fuck, what are we going to do? We're going to drop him off at the hospital. I'm just going to go back down. I'm just going to go back down home, And then he comes to, and then we're totally freaked out. We still went to my friend Watson's house, but he threw up like every 20 minutes. Even on the ride home, I had to keep pulling over. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, a friend that did some really weird stuff. He was the drunk friend, the alcoholic friend that you had that was always trying to get you to drink with him, and I'm always like, Rob, okay, I'll drink with you. He's like always, it's a tennis match. It's always going back and forth. Like, you buy the beer now, and I'll get it next time. Of course, you never got it next time, but and his girlfriend, or I think it was his wife at the time, had just abruptly left him because, of course, his problem had just spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
One day I'm at my house, and he's walking on the side, comes over, and next thing you know, he's on the couch, and he's just kind of bobbing back and forth, like, sitting, but his upper body was moving forward and then back, and his head was kind of just jolting about. And I'm like, what's up with you, man? Why are you just waking out right now? And next thing you know, he's told me I just downed a ton of, like, Tylenol, just a ton of it. And he basically he tries to kill himself, and then he comes to my place to have me, like, witness it. You know what I mean? So I was like,
you were just gonna have to deal with a dead body.
That's great.
What a great friend.
There was a news story like a week or two ago where I guess some kids were hanging out and one of them died, like they overdosed, and they took selfies with the dead body and like posted it on Facebook and all, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I don't think they did anything wrong. Like, that's cool.
So, you guys are one of you guys are reading the book Framer, right?
Yeah, I'm reading it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just making sure. Yeah. Yeah, man, it was that one went out really fast. I wrote it really quickly, but it was like I was slamming out like 10 to 15 pages a day. I mean, it was just rolling like a tap. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, you wrote it in like a couple of months.
It was a
right?
lot to type it out rather than write it out by hand.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, actually, I think I pronounced the name wrong. I don't know why I called it Farmer, but it's Framer, right?
Framer, yep. And the title kind of suits what this. I don't know if you've gotten to the point where they were recruited. Or not, but,
that's actually where I'm at right now. Is they met the guy at the restaurant, and he's talking to them.
Okay, yeah. So the book is starting to switch gears now a little bit, and they're getting recruited by this mysterious guy, this secretive guy, and so. Yeah, it gets a lot crazier thereafter.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, now do you like read the news a lot and try to like incorporate like current events and stuff like that into your stories, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, like with this Framer book, it advances to about 2027, so it goes into the future, and so the book. Like, it takes a lot of what's going to happen, I think, in the future into account. For instance, like, drone technology and technology like Google Glass. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it's kind of augmented reality, where you kind of look through a pair of glasses and you can kind of see, like, news feeds and stuff like that, and you'll be able to kind of see, lots of different things that are popping up in the right lens, whereas maybe the left lens, perhaps you can kind of see the whole world.
Yeah.
And, it takes into account a lot of, so like a lot of the writing I like to do now in the next book that I'm going to do, kind of takes into account like the future. So, I'm kind of envisioning what the future is going to be, but I know that like right now, robotics and robots and things like that are going to be really big in the 2020s and 30s and things like that. So I'm kind of working from that angle into this third book as to kind of what I want to do, and I already have it kind of put together, but I just need the time to kind of sit down and write it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, like I've heard crazy stuff that like in 20 years from now, they think they're going to be able to take our consciousness and actually put it in like a robot body.
I want a robot penis, like with hydraulics and shit. I think that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, I've heard some wild stuff about people being able to read each other's minds and things like that. Like you could just go into a Starbucks or something, and people wouldn't even be having conversations. They would just be reading each other's minds with some of the technology that they're wearing. Whether it be the glasses or whatever they're wearing.
It's crazy, man. It's going to be a very different world very soon. It's moving quick.
Well, I'm 42, so I mean, I'll probably be lucky if I got another 40 years, but I'd love to see how the next 40 years pan out before I croak. But anybody 20s right now, 20s, 15 years old, like my son is 8 and my daughter 11 or 12, and I would love to switch out and let them be me and let let me be them if that's at all possible.
Yeah.
So, are you like a fan of like science fiction then? Because it kind of sounds like you're moving towards a science fiction type of thing.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the stuff that I write, it doesn't have science fiction to it. What it is, it's I like to just call it kind of like a reality, but an extreme reality kind of. Whereas, you know, it's real. All of the stuff that I write has a realistic spin to it or tip to it. Whereas science fiction, I think, is much more over the top stuff. Where, you know, people are creating, you know, sometimes they're even creating like different worlds and stuff like that. Where all the stuff that I write is realistic stuff that actually is going to happen, and the stuff that's in the works and stuff. So there's really no like true science fiction behind the writing at all. But my whole thing is just to entertain people as much as I can. And, and if someone's gonna sit down and take the time to read one of my books or listen to one of my books on audiobook or you know, anything, even if any of them ever make it to the movie screen or television, I want them to be fully entertained. And when I wrote this stuff, I didn't want people to say, "Damn, that was really, you know, just a run-of-the-mill average book." I didn't want to do that. I promised myself, if I'm going to do that and that's the reaction I'm going to get, this is not the business I need to be in.
Yeah.
So I made every effort that I could to make certain that I could try to accomplish that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to finishing your book, and when I do finish it, I'll leave a review on Amazon for you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely, man. What else was I going to say? I had something, and it... Oh, so what... did you always want to be like a writer growing up, or was this something that you decided on later in life?
Yeah, I was in my composition class in 12th grade. I had a teacher who had a degenerative like disease, and I don't know what the disease was. I mean, off the top of my head, I want to think it was Parkinson's, and he was pretty advanced. And he was really a great guy. I mean, you could kind of tell he was at the end of his rope, and for him to be teaching under those medical conditions was nothing short of astounding. But he was really a sweet guy, and he kind of, like, I would stay after school sometimes and just hang with him and talk with him, and of course we wrote journals and whatnot, you know, throughout the class, and it was like a journal class, a composition class, and he really dug my stuff, and I thought my stuff sucked, honestly. I didn't think it was that good, and, you know, he encouraged me to write some short stories and some different things, and I did, and I brought them into him. Of course, he'd critique them, but all in all, he thought it was really good, and he thought maybe that I should pursue it at some point. I just kind of put it in the back of my head and never really, you know, thought about it. And then, you know, when I wrote Tropical Trauma in the late 90s, I thought about him. I knew he'd been dead. I'm pretty sure he'd been dead for some time.
Wow.
But the first I thought it was him, you know, and so, I don't know, he was kind of my motivation a little bit in that regard. But, you know, so, yeah, when I was in high school, I liked to write. And I really, when I wrote Framer, I was like, this was such a fun experience for me to write the book that when I was done with the book, I just, you know, I was like actually feeling bummed out and almost like missing writing on that particular book, which is as weird as that sounds, it's true. But, and so whenever I get into these things, my third project and stuff, I want to feel the same way when I'm done with that one.
That's cool, and that's crazy too, that you finished Framer in, like, what, 3 months you wrote that book?
Yeah, I wrote it in under 2 months. I wrote it in like 58 days. But every day that I did write on it, and I wrote on it every day in those 58 days, except maybe a couple, I was knocking out probably, I don't know, anywhere between 6 and 15 pages.
So how many hours a day were you spending just writing?
Well, I was figuring that each page was probably taking me about an hour to write, maybe about 50 minutes to an hour to write a page.
A page? Wow.
Wow.
That particular book, as you go through that book, you'll find out it's very detailed. You know, it's very detail-oriented. Like I said, there's a lot of future type of stuff in it. There's a lot of things that you would think would be going on in the late 2020s.
Is it hoverboards? Because that's what I want.
What's that?
Hoverboards.
One more time?
Is there any hoverboards in it?
No, I don't think so. That's actually kind of cool. That's actually really cool. I didn't incorporate that into the stuff, but
well, there you go. We just gave you something to put in your next book. You know, hoverboards.
It's really cool. Yeah. Huh.
he's writing it down now. He's like, hover.
You heard it here first.
You think
nice.
we should wrap this up so we have a little bit of time?
Yeah,
Ben, we're sorry we got to cut this short. We enjoyed talking to you, and you're another guest who we would definitely get in contact again. When I finish reading your book, maybe we'll book you for another interview so we can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. So go ahead and give your plugs, and we'll let you go, all right?
Sounds great. Thank you so much, guys.
Well,
Thank you.
Go ahead and promote whatever you got to promote.
Yeah, where your books are and the titles.
Oh, yeah. Well, the titles is Framer is the one book, and the other book is called Tropical Trauma. Both are on the Amazon Marketplace, but you'll be able to get them in audio. You'll also be able to get them in paperback at some point soon, and perhaps on all the marketplaces as well. So.
And like I said, guys, don't be cheap. They're 99 cents on Amazon, the ebooks. I downloaded them straight to my Kindle and got them both $2.
Yeah, man.
And from what I see, they're good reads. So.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's a pretty impulsive buy. So.
Nice. All right, brother.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
Take care, Ben.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, we're going on break, guys. We'll be back.